Good morning students. Today I am going to teach you the second chapter of civics. The name of the chapter is Directive Principles of State Policy. Students, before watching this video, open your notebooks and books also to note down the important points. First of all, I would like to define the meaning of directive principles. Directive principles are guidelines or directions which are given to the government by the constitution for what to do work for the welfare of the people. So these are the guidelines or directions which are given to the government by the constitution to do work for the welfare of the people. Students, the first concept is welfare state. Welfare state means in the simple words its meaning is the state which do work for the welfare of the people. Its meaning is also in word meaning. You have to underline this. It is a concept in which the state and the well established network of social institutions. What are the social institutions? Like the institutions which do work for the society, like schools, hospitals. These all are social institutions, and they provide protection and promotion of the economic and social well-being of the citizens. These institutions and the state provide protection and promotion of the economic and social well-being of the citizens, and such type of state in which the state government and the other social institutions do work for the people, for the well-being of the people. And these institutions do work by following some principles, like principles of equality of opportunity. Means for example, in the school all students get education and they equally get this education. They all have the opportunity to get education, and equal distribution of wealth means all people can get job and the wealth is distributed equally among them. And provision of good life, and that is the responsibility of the state government to provide the provision of the good life to the people, those who are unable, like the poor people, disabled people, those who cannot do work. And it is the responsibility of the government to provide them at least good life. So next is India as a welfare state. India is also a welfare state, means the Indian government also do work for the welfare of the people. I am going to tell you the history of India. When India got freedom, it had many problems. When the India got freedom from the Britishers, at that time India had faced many problems and the challenges. What type of problems? Firstly, economic inequalities. Economically, the people were not equal, means some people were very rich and some were very poor, and some didn't have any job. And the social inequalities means socially the all people were not equal, like the women, Dalits and the children, they were inferior to the men. They were not equal to the men when the India got independence. After the struggle, they got rights. So when the India got freedom, India people faced many challenges, many problems. Indian government had to solve these problems after the independence. That is why our constitution makers, and after the independence the constitution imposed, and the constitution makers decide India would be a welfare state. And in the constitution of India, India is declared as a welfare state, means India will do work for the welfare of the people. The Indian government will do the work for the welfare of the people. Why India is a welfare state? As in the preamble of the constitution, it is declared that India is a socialist. Socialist means Indian government will do work for the society. Sovereign means it is free from any foreign power. Like before the independence, Britishers were there, but now it is free. Secular means in India, Indian government will not adopt any religion. All people are free to follow any religion. Democratic means the power is in the hands of people. The people have the right to elect their government. And republic, the head of the government will be elected person, like president, that is elected person, he is the head of the government. So India is socialist, sovereign, secular, democratic and republic country. It means that India is a welfare state, means India will do work for the welfare of the people. For social and economic equality in India, to provide social and economic equality to the people of India, the constitution provides fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. These are given to the people, fundamental rights and the directive principle, these are given to the government to do work for the people. So India is a welfare state. Why India is a welfare state? Because in the Indian constitution, the many provisions are there which are for the welfare of the people, like fundamental rights. We all have the fundamental rights which provides us freedom, and the directive principles are also there, which are the direction which are given to the government to do work for the welfare of the people. So India is a welfare state. Next is meaning and purpose of directive principles. What is the main purpose of directive principles and what are the directive principles? I already cleared the meaning. These principles are there in constitution under the articles. Underline this, that is very important. Articles 36 to 51. It can come as an inside question also. The directive principles comes under the article 36 to 51. These are in the fourth part of constitution. These directive principles are under the articles of 36 to 51, and it is found in the fourth part of constitutions. So the fourth part of the constitution deals with the directive principles of state policy. In our constitution, the articles are there. Many articles are there. Directive principles comes under the 36 and 51 article. And what are these principles? Underline this, that is the definition of the directive principles. Directive principles are the directions which are given to the government. I told you in the starting, for what? To undertake certain policies for the welfare of the people. These directions are given to the government to do work for the welfare of the people and to make laws to ensure social, economic and legal justice to people. And it also guide the government to make such a laws which will provide social, economic and legal justice to the people. And next is the purpose of, what is the purpose? Why the directive principles are found in the constitution? The purpose, at the time I told you, when the India got independence, India faced many problems. So to solve these problems, the directive principles are there in constitution. What type of problems were there at the time? Like problems of poverty, illiteracy, backwardness, social discrimination and the poor conditions of health which were found in India. In India, when the India got independence, poverty, you know what is the meaning of poverty? Illiteracy, backwardness, and social discrimination. Social discrimination means all people were not equal. Many groups were there which discriminate with each other. Like the Dalits were there, they were also known as the untouchable, and the people of the upper castes did not treat with them properly. So to solve all these problems, the main purpose of the directive principle to solve these problems is the main purpose of the directive principles. And now nature of directive principles. What type of these principles are there? Directive principles, you have to underline this, that is also important, are not enforceable in the courts. Means if there is any government which is not following these directive principles, then nobody can go into the courts to complain against the government for what? For not following the directive principle. So it is the wish of the government to follow these rules or not. So the courts cannot entertain a case against the government. No case can be entertained in the court for not following the directive principle. So these are not enforceable in the courts. Underline this. Second, because these principles cannot enforce in the court, so that's why these are also known as the manifesto of aims. What is the meaning of manifesto? That is also in word meaning. Manifesto, when the elections are there, all the political parties decided there's some aims. They told the people that they will do this or this, but that is the wish of the government. The government, that is the wish of the political party, it want to fulfill these aims or not. So these the directive principles are also the wish of the government, it want to follow these or not. So these are also known as the manifesto of aims. And the check payable by the bank for its convenience, and it is also like a check which is payable by the bank only for its own convenience. It is the government can follow these rules for its convenience or not. And New Year's resolution, these are also known as a New Year resolution. Means the New Year resolution, that is the resolution which changes after a years. On the other side, our constitution laid down that it is the moral duty. But in our constitution, in the first point, we had done that it is the wish of the government to follow these rules. But in constitution, it is written that it is the moral duty of the government to follow these directive principles and put them into force. But it is the moral duty of the government to follow these rules. For what? For the welfare of the people. So moral sanction is there behind these principles. Like some rules are there in our life also. Respect the elders. This is our moral duty. Same, this is the moral duty of the government to follow these rules. So these directive principles are the measure to judge the work and performance of the government. So with the directive principles we can judge the work and performance of the government. So nature of the directive principle is that these are not